action.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Rogue Agent Radio, Episode 7. I'm one of your hosts, Boomslang. Joining me, as always, is the Master of Management, Deep Fried Dave. How's it going, Dave?
Great, Boom. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing right now. I just went out and bought Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Didn't think I was going to do it. Then a lot of people said that the zombies was really fun. And I love playing the zombies on all the old Black Ops, or Call of Duties, that is. And so I was playing it with my brother, and it's fun. It brought back a lot of memories, so I'm excited. You play a lot of Call of Duty at all?
I played all of the Call of Duties and Black Ops, but I have not gotten this one because I wasn't a big fan of Advanced Warfare, so I'm still a little salty about that one.
I will say that because I hated Advanced Warfare as well. The the jetpacks really turned me off to it. I did not like it at all.
That's just one of those ones that I just want it to be like a normal military first-person shooter with some cool gadgets. You know, I don't need robot arms or anything like that for that one. I'll go get my robots and alien stuff somewhere else.
Right.
So
in Destiny.
that's just, there you go.
Alongside Dave, we have the rock star of gaming, Blessed Doom. How's it going, Doom?
Oh, pretty good. I tell you, I actually feel a little bit like a rock star today because I went flawless in Trials of Osiris last night.
That's awesome.
Now
it's no easy feat nowadays. They've changed things up a little bit.
The rest of that statement actually goes, I was carried through Trials of Osiris by KJ Hovey and Ivan from Team Resolute. They were kind enough to take pity on me and help me through. So
KJ Hovey, that robot, is what he is.
Yeah.
He's not human. I swear to it. He's not human.
I tell you though, the map this week is tough. He wasn't able to get a lot of his snipes off. It's a really confusing map.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, so for episode 7, we also have a very special guest. If you have searched YouTube for a video on The Division, chances are you've heard his voice. As I live and breathe, MarcoStyleNL. Thanks for joining, Marco.
Yeah, it's finally my turn to talk. I was waiting, like, when's going to be my turn? When are you going to be introducing me?
We had to make you wait a little bit because you knew you were going to show us all up.
So now you're going to ask me how I am?
Yeah,
I'm doing fucking fantastic. I can tell you that.
That's awesome, dude. We're glad to have you on the show. Really excited.
I'm looking forward to what you're going to do on the show.
Mm-hmm.
See what you have in mind.
Yeah. I when we first started the podcast, we were like, how cool would it be if we got all these big YouTubers and things to be on the show? I was like, that'll never happen. And then I just you gotta
just imagine that we're all just people, and we all just care about the same games, and we're all just here to have a good time. This is nothing more than just having a good time, right?
Right. Just being part of the community. That's funny, like how you bring it up. Everyone says that they're just people, and you think that like all the big YouTubers and stuff, they think they're, I don't know, you would expect them to have kind of an attitude. But like,
nah.
Well, when I went to E3 and I met, a lot of big YouTubers, like I met a lot of them, who had several 100,000 subscribers or whatever, and they're just, they're just normal people, hanging out, having fun with video games. That's what's really cool about it, So, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Rogue Agent Radio is your base of operations for the Division news extractions, game discussions, and agent trust issues. You can find us on iTunes by searching Rogue Agent Radio, where we post a show every other Monday morning. So rate, review, download, subscribe, tell your friends, share with your grandma, all that good stuff. You can also follow us on Twitter at Rogue Agent Radio for all the latest on the show and up-to-date news on the Division. So with that, let's start off episode 7 with some news.
Trust issues, huh?
Yeah. When we went over the Dark Zone stuff, that kind of is what brought it up. Anyway,
yeah.
I don't think people get it, and then when the game comes out, they'll finally understand.
Oh, no, I think they'll get it.
Anyways, for this week, we don't have a whole lot to go over. Surprise, surprise. But we did get Ubisoft's quarterly financial conference call for investors and analysts. If we want to get all... I'm going to go get my business suit jacket and put it on. We'll talk all about statistics and things.
I'm already in my tuxedo.
Yeah.
You're always in your tuxedo. What are we talking about?
I'm ready.
Yeah. CEO, what, Yves Guillermo? Is that how you say it? Guillemont? It's French, isn't it? I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Marco, do you know?
Just say that guy.
That guy
That
from
guy.
Ubisoft talked about
Yep.
two major games coming in the fourth quarter of the current fiscal year: Far Cry Primal and Tom Clancy's The Division. First off, before we talk about the news on The Division, what are your guys' first impression of Far Cry Primal? What do you think? How do you think it's going to work in like 10,000 BC Ice Age times?
Well, I'm excited to climb those wooden radio towers. That's one thing for sure.
I gotta light the fire beacon.
Something like that. And I'm also, excited for a hardcore mode where there's no subtitles. That would be fun as well. No, but on a more serious note, I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. I don't know how they're gonna make like some awesome story out of it, like they did with Far Cry 3 and 4, with some crazy villain,
Right. I don't really know where they're gonna go with it either.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can make weapons and things interesting in a 10,000 BC setting.
Well, they're trying something different, so you got to give them credit for that.
That is true. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, give us something new instead of releasing the same game over and over. And this is what they're doing.
And they're doing it. They're doing it.
I just can't wait to get my like legendary spear. That'd be pretty cool.
I'm just thinking, like, how are they gonna make the antagonist, right? This is gonna be some crazy evil orang-utang human. Sort of like
it's a dinosaur.
Like brains
it's
back in the day weren't that developed,
mammoth.
right?
Yeah, it's a woolly mammoth is what it is. They're trying to kill him.
Yeah,
he's bad. Okay, on to The Division. Just a few things that they brought up in their meeting to kind of get all of the investors and everybody all pumped up. Said The Division won more than 100 nominations and awards in the fourth quarter, I guess. So that would be at E3 or over the course of the year, E3, Gamescom, and everything. Won a lot of awards. I know when I was at E3, you know how Marco, they would put stickers on the booths of the different games with the different awards and things. And
probably I did not pay too much attention to that.
Yeah, if you walked around, like different games would have different, like game of show from different editors and websites and things. And the Divisions it was pretty covered. I was surprised at how many that actually got, since it was kind of newer to all of the E3 and things, that they actually were announcing new stuff and letting people play it. Other games like Horizon Zero Dawn, I mean, that wall was freaking plastered in stickers, and the Division probably had 3/4 of all of those. So it was interesting to see all the different kinds of nominations and whatever it got. Also, it's been a regular monthly occupant of the GameStop purchase intent chart. So I guess that means people are wanting to buy it or pre-ordering it and all that stuff. Retailers are telling Ubisoft that they have solid confidence in the game and that they will provide every support for the launch. So I'm going to guess launch parties and all that good stuff. Speaking of launch parties at GameStop are pretty fun, at least at the one at mine.
I've never been to a launch party.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, same here.
It's pretty. The first one, well, I've only been to one. Technically, I went to Destiny's, and they got us free Mountain Dews, free chicken, all this stuff, had giveaways, all this crazy stuff. It was a lot of fun.
I don't know if you have that in the Netherlands. I'm not sure.
What kind of game stores do you have? Do you have Game or whatever it is over there in Europe? Or
I could check. I don't know. I usually just order my games online, and I order them after the release. So like I never have to deal with any of those things.
Right.
Usually I just, if I'm really excited for a game, I'll probably buy it a couple of days after launch.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, not really.
That's kind of what I've been doing lately too. I haven't been buying the only games that I've pre-ordered in the last couple of years was Destiny and The Division, and I think that's it. All the others.
I think the only game I ever pre-ordered was Halo Reach, and that was a mistake. So that's never doing that again.
Is that why you learned your lesson?
Get them all.
Instantly.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a bad game. It just I don't know. I could have just bought it on launch day as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Ubisoft expects players to be so happy when they experienced the game's beta. That was quote in quotation marks. So happy. So I guess that's what that guy said.
He's very encouraging.
Very encouraging. Well, it's all businessy. They can't be
happy.
like, guys are going to be super stoked when they play this game because it's so freaking badass. And
You'd think
they could.
That are for our consumers will be something. Not players will be happy. I'm like, okay,
so happy.
Oh,
so happy. So it'd be a lot
It's
better.
better than happy.
Said the game is coming along very well. End quote. The quality is quote really at a very high level. End quote. So that's good. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know where you got
CEO.
this, but I mean, to me, what you just all said, that's really subjective and just a marketing.
it really is. Well, that's what I mean. Being in a quarterly business meeting, that's what they have to say to their investors. They can't say, the game's looking kind of shady, and I'm not sure if the launch is going to be, really good. So
No,
all the investors are going to be like,
that's-
drop this game.
Yeah.
No, obviously, but like, where did you find this?
It was I found it from the division.zone. They posted. It was just someone listened into the call. Like when we listened into the, I can't remember if it was like first quarter or whatever, when they officially said the game was going to be delayed into 2016.
Like
This
the
is just like their,
quarterly earnings call.
yeah.
For
It's all
several-
business.
Yeah.
I had to put something in for
Well,
the news, so geez, cut me some slack.
I'm not doubting that the beta will be good, but this is just all business talk.
Right.
This is not. Yeah, this is
It's not really news or anything.
no,
so-
not really. It's just trying
Except
to hype it up a little bit,
Mhm. Which they need. I mean, they need to get some sort of hype going for it. So, Marco, like I said before we started the show, let's pick your brain here on yourself, basically. I had some questions. I want to find out a little bit more about you. So we're gonna go into third degree here. We got the one light bulb swinging from the light. You're sitting in the chair tied up. And we're gonna ask you some questions.
I'm not used to daylight.
I
I'm
know
not used to
Dave.
that.
I know Dave would want to ask you a lot of questions because he's a big fan of your stuff. So Dave, do you want to lead us off, or do you want me to go first?
Oh, well, no, I was just going to say maybe have Marco just kind of explain to listeners who he is if they're not familiar with him, about his channel and such, and then let the interrogation begin.
Let's go with that. Marco, what are you? And
I'm a human. I'm a human being. No, but I guess you could say that I sometimes post a video on YouTube.
Occasionally.
Nothing too much.
Mhm.
I think I posted about 5 videos total over the last 2 years. I guess some people dig them, some people don't.
Yeah, I've never heard of your YouTube, so someone suggested, hey, we should get this guy. I was like, okay, I don't know who he is. We'll just throw him on the show.
Yep. Some I mostly do cat videos.
So you probably have like 50 million subscribers then.
Something like that.
Yeah.
No, I make YouTube videos about the Division whenever there's news or whenever I feel like analyzing something about the trailers, which I feel at this point I've pretty much looked at everything so far.
Yeah.
Unless they release new stuff today, which I really wish they would. But that's what I do. I basically make gaming videos about the Division news and topics and stuff like that.
What I really like about your channel is how high quality it is. And over the few years that I've been watching your videos for probably 2 or 3. Whenever the Division was announced, when I went, like I said earlier, when you type in the Division videos, that's when I first started watching yours. And to see your quality, I've been watching your videos literally for probably 2 years, 2+ at least. And your quality has just constantly improved, and now it's like, holy crap.
I have a reason for that, and we'll get to that later because you were going to ask me how I started on YouTube, right?
Yeah. Oh, I've got a whole list of questions.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get to that, but continue on.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go ahead and start with the questions. We'll start from the very beginning. What got you into video games exactly?
What got me into video games?
Yeah.
Well, probably when I was 6 years old, my parents bought me the PlayStation 1. And they bought me a couple of games with it, like Rayman. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, really? That's cool.
And later the PlayStation 2 with Ratchet and Clank and Jack X. And I guess that got me into gaming. I like those games so much, and that's pretty much the majority of what I did after school.
That's awesome. Well, at least they got you
Never-
started right with the PlayStation 2 and Ratchet and Clank. That was one of my my big break into gaming with video games. That was awesome.
Did you play Ratchet and Clank 3?
I played all of the Ratchet and Clanks.
All of them? No,
If
I only
there's-
had 3, and Deadlocked, I believe the name was. Or-
Yeah. Well, those were
Gator.
good too. I like Deadlock's
This-
kind of arcade feeling to it, so that was pretty cool. So what games, like you said, you're a YouTuber, obviously. What games did you first cover when you started your YouTube? Like what got you started into YouTube? We'll go to the very beginning, origins.
After I had a PlayStation 2, one of my cool friends, he got an Xbox 360, which was like the shit. So
Yeah.
I wanted that too, and I just kept complaining to my parents that I wanted one until I got one 2 years later. So
Persistence.
with that, it was 2009, I believe. Then Halo 3, I got that with it, and so I got really into Halo. I thought that was a cool game.
Yeah.
And so with that, I got into Halo Wars. And I've always been more of a competitive player. I always want to try to become the best. I don't know why. It's just something I like to do. It's like a challenge.
I'm right there with you.
So when the game got popular, I got number 1 in the world on the 1v1 leaderboards.
Oh, wow.
It was a strategy game. And actually, because I didn't have a computer and I didn't have a capture card, I couldn't record gameplay, but people still wanted me to show how it's show on YouTube how it's done. So many people were doing it, but people wanted me to commentate it. So that's when someone else bought me a capture card and sent it over to my house. Well, they sent the money over to my house so I could buy it.
Yeah.
And then my parents bought me a really cheap computer because I couldn't capture gameplay without a computer, and that's how I started. Really crappy
cool.
microphone, but I had a very thick accent. Like, I'm even surprised that anyone was able to understand what I was saying at all. But I can't even understand myself looking back at these videos, but somehow people really liked them, and I got quite popular, for back in the day.
Do you still have some of those videos on YouTube right now? Or are they just
I have them on private. I have about 300 plus Halo Wars videos that I just put on private because I don't know. Looking back at it, like I said, I just don't want people to see how bad I was at commentating back then. But I did a lot of live commentaries and just normal commentaries back then, and that's what got my channel growing.
That's cool. You should re-release one of those and be like the history of Marco Style, and then have one of those videos. I want to see one. No. You have to link me to one of those videos after this is over. I want to see the young Marco Style.
I was that guy that made a 50-second intro on After Effects and put it in front of a couple videos because I looked like that's how bad of a YouTuber I was back then.
Yeah. But they look so cool. People obviously love 50-second intros, especially if they're awesome. So.
Especially if you watch them every day. I mean, it doesn't get old, right?
Exactly. So what made you... Continue.
But, okay, so after that, I got kind of tired of Halo Wars 2 years later down the line. Mm-hmm. It died out. The game just got old.
Right.
And I was looking for other games. I was mostly looking for a new Halo or a new Halo Wars 2 at E3 2013.
Yeah.
And then I saw The Division. I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool. It's and then I was searching information about the game on the internet, but I couldn't find anything. So
imagine that because nothing's changed.
No, so I couldn't find I couldn't find anything. And then, because I had a microphone, I had a capture card, I knew how to, put a video together. I was like, hey, let's just, try to get as much info together and make those videos. Maybe I can help someone else out. Maybe I can provide that information. That's how I got started on the Division for YouTube.
Sure, that's awesome. You answered my next question.
That's. I made about. Cool. Okay, now continue.
Well, that's really cool. So when you were watching The Division, that was kind of your thought process. Was you just were tired of doing Halo Wars and you? What?
I wanted something different.
Yeah. So
and then I was just what?
Go ahead. I keep talking over you.
I keep talking over you.
No, that's
so
fine.
Yeah. No, I was like, I wanted something different. I wanted a new game, probably a new Halo, maybe a new GTA. I was looking out for anything.
Right.
And then like I said, this came out, and well, this is the thing that got my eye. This is the thing that I thought looked cool, and this is the thing that I made videos about.
Yeah. You'll probably be able to make videos about it for a long time too. And if their plan is to support it as long as, I don't know, like Destiny or whatever other kind of MMO styled games. I have to say MMO styled and not call it an MMO, because anytime, like in the last podcast that I did, I would say, like someone would say, call it an MMO. Oh my gosh, we would get, it's not an MMO. It's not. It's like, I know, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's kind of like a future-proof type of game almost. If you know, depending on how they go about it. So that's kind of why I got into it too. Like, well, this game looks like it could be something that could last a long time. And that's kind of how my whole thought process is with video games in general. Like, I typically won't buy them if I don't feel like I can play them for a really, really long time. You know,
exactly. Like, there's a lot of those single player games that after a week you're just done with. Mm-hmm. But this kind of combines, you know, single player with multiplayer, and, you know, progressing your character just further and further. Mm-hmm. So I can see myself playing this for a very long time.
Yeah, definitely. I hope they have a lot of in-game stuff in it. So
yeah, exactly. They need to.
Yeah. What about the game do you find the most exciting? Like, when you saw it was like, okay, this is cool. Like, what made you decide to start talking about it?
Yeah, it was probably a couple things. Obviously, the first one being that the game just looked ridiculously good. I was like, is this for real?
Yeah, no. When I first saw it, I was like, holy cow, this is
amazing.
No.
So that was, I'm definitely guilty of that. And then just, you know, everything. It just looked so well put together with the UI, you know, being merged into the world, and then the gameplay looked really solid as well. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I didn't know so much about it back then as I know now. So I guess right now I'm just really interested to see where they go with the story, where they go with like. I'm really hoping that with the skills that you'll be able to customize them so much with tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Mm-hmm. Like, remember when they showed a little bit at Gamescom where you had, like, you could put electricity on this, or you make it a gas mine, or maybe a flashbang mine. Remember that stuff?
Yeah, I remember that.
So I'm hoping that it kind of works a little bit like maybe a MOBA game where you could, you know, use this with that to stun a player for a second, or use the flashbang to literally blind someone for a second, and just, you know, have chain stuns to make it really a tactical game with, like, with for example, the fire effect being a damage over time effect, and that kind of stuff. I'm really hoping that they go towards that, so you have a whole lot of strategies. And I don't really think that the game, you know, gets boring after a while if they approach it like that.
Yeah. Well, having the abilities and skills like that, it just adds so many different layers, like what you're saying. Instead of it just being like, okay, here's this perk, you're done, that's all you have to do. Now you can mix things in and out just on your own player, and then you can add 3 more people to your squad, and then all of them have different loadouts and things, and it just I mean, I can't imagine how many different scenarios and squad loadouts that you could have. That would be really cool. Like, I remember when we were talking about it right after E3, and you brought up MOBA, you know, the MOBA style, you know, being strategy, you know, and the time to kill and everything, and I'd never thought of it that way. But it does make a little more sense, kind of in the time to kill and the strategies, not necessarily like having lanes and things to go. I haven't played. I've only watched MOBAs, so I don't know exactly how it all works. But
there's a lot of instead of just damage, straight up damage, there's a lot of crowd control. You can slow your enemy, you can stun your enemy, you can blind, you can you know, you can zone something, you know, like with an AoE effect. Which, for example, could be the gas mine. You know, if they walk into that, they take damage. So you can zone out a certain area with that.
Yeah.
There's, you know, all that stuff, and I really feel like that could bring just so much depth to this game. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, imagine like 4 or 3 people, you know, modifying one of their skills with an electricity effect, which we know is in the game, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the electricity effect applies a 1-second stun on anyone it hits. So you could, like, time out your stuns and, you know, permanently just crowd control somebody until he dies.
Right. That's what's really cool about it, having that longer time to kill. I know when after I asked a bunch of people, they're like, it should be a lot shorter. And I'm thinking, you know, that's what kind of made it fun, was, you know, it taking a lot of bullets to take someone down, because then you had to think a little bit more about when you started shooting at someone.
Yeah, but the demo at E3 didn't really have all that. I feel like the demo at E3 didn't really present that too well because there wasn't a whole lot you could customize. It was like a very, very short demo, and you didn't really have any of those effects because everything was locked,
Right.
You couldn't even see the skills. So, I'm just really hoping that everything, works out for the late game and for the final game when it's finished.
Right. So we've had this question a few times, and I just want to get your opinion on it. What do you think about combat finishers and melee kills?
Ooh.
I know you've talked about them before. I want to get your your final answer on it. How do you think they if they put them in? Because we have these rumors that they're putting them back in.
So I see melee working in a couple ways. Obviously, not just a one-hit kill melee or sneak up. That's not going to work. But finishers, definitely, when somebody's down, you should be able to get on them like in Gears of War and just punch the shit out of them.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. It doesn't really add too much because you could also just shoot them, but at least maybe give some extra experience or have like a medal or just
style
or
points.
Just,
yeah,
just
that would be cool.
Something like that. But just for normal melee, I think it would also be cool to be able to assassinate weaker AI opponents in the PvE section.
Mm-hmm.
Just take them down, give a little more stealth aspect to the game. But in PvP, I think that's just not going to work.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because like they said, the reason they took it out was people were just sneaking around trying to kill everybody with melees. But I also didn't like the fact that you could the only thing I could do is push them away. It's like I want to be able to hit them with my gun, do something, cause a little bit of damage.
True.
Anyways.
You can't just be standing next to each other and then just spraying around. I don't know, but it is a cover-based game, but you should be able to get up close as well.
Right. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I guess we'll find out in the beta exactly what's going to happen. All I know is I'm going to spend my entire time just shutting car doors because that's what I'm excited for. Car door shutting simulator 2016.
I know where to find you then. I'll just, turn my headset on, and whenever I hear a car door shut. Oh, that's boom slang there. All right, guys, let's go over there. We gotta kill him once more.
That's gonna be hilarious. Okay, let's go ahead and move into our topic of the week. All right, so this week we're going to discuss crafting, or the lack thereof, according to Marco, depending on how you look at it. So they have said that there is crafting. It's
that is true.
An integral part of the game. They said that you can ignore it, basically, or you can dive into it and do a lot with it. So other than that, we don't really know a whole lot. Now, Marco, you probably have done the most research on this. What exactly do you think crafting is going to be like in the Division?
I think that crafting will be something similar to finding attachments for your gun or stuff for your outfit and then just adding that to your weapon. Maybe stuff like that to make it more powerful or more useful.
Right.
Because we haven't seen anything in footage about anything else yet. Like this game doesn't look like it's going to have those little things like pick up this tin can and pick up this string and then put it together to whatever. I don't think it's going to have that. But I have talked to Ryan Bernard at E3 like a couple months ago. That's a long time ago, actually.
Yeah,
time goes fast.
Flown by.
Yeah. So he has told me that they purposely did not put that in any trailers because they want to keep it all a secret. So there's like two sides to that.
I wonder if that means that it's actually going to be a bigger part of the game than we first imagined, or they're just not done with it yet. It's good.
But then again, I also looked through the menus, which was like that. You had a couple of sub tabs. You had skills. Let me actually look it up. You had skills, talents. What else you had? Let me just take a quick look. You had talent, skills, inventory, character, group, clothing, and then options. But there was no crafting tab, right?
Right.
So I was asking around about this. and I was saying, yo, is the crafting step, are they still going to add that since you haven't shown anything about it? But, you also don't want to show talents, but that tab is still there. It's just locked. What's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then one of the developers told me that in the inventory tab, there will be a little button somewhere when the game comes out with like press X to go to the customization tab, which then leads me to think that customization or crafting may not be that big of a deal when it comes down to crafting weapons and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if it's kind of going to be the way Fallout does it, where you can go into each individual weapon and either repair it or mod it, and you can do that with any of your armor and weapons or any of that. That's kind of. I think it's going
to be limited to having this attachment or that attachment or this painting for that gun, but you're not going to be able to like craft your own ammunition from this and this and this and this. Like for example, you have in Dying Light, you can craft all sorts of melee weapons from the craziest things. But I think that might also be for the better, because I'm personally not a fan of just sitting in the menu looking at a screen and just having all those different things.
Yeah.
It's like you have to have this, and then you just press a button and you have it.
Right.
It is. I don't know how that's gonna work out.
It's gonna be interesting.
That's all I know. It's like a two-edged. Like on one side of the story, it's like there's not gonna be that much crafting, but on the other side of the story, it's like they purposely kept it out because they don't want you to see what they have. So
I really if they're not done with it yet,
or it could be just boring to most people. Or
That's
some
true.
People. I think like the E3 tends to be. I don't know that people want to go there and do crafting, right? Because they want it to be all the action.
No, that is true. But a lot of the things like floating and
sorry, go ahead.
Dude, it's like every time I keep talking through.
All right.
No, but that is true. But they also had like skills, talents, all those things might also not be that interesting. But the tabs were still there. They were just locked. You couldn't access them. But the crafting thing, it wasn't there at all. So
I see what you're saying. And it used to be. I just seen that one thing where on the wristwatch that the hologram menu that pops up, it used to be on that menu. Is that the one you're talking about? And it wasn't there at all?
No. I actually, now that you mention it, I don't think they have that wrist anymore.
Oh, really?
It's
kind
of sad too. I was
no. I don't think, because you could press select on the controller to open the map, right?
Yeah.
And then to go into any of the menus like talent, skills, inventory, you just press start and you get that menu that I recreated. There's nothing about going to the watch.
Oh, I assumed it was like in game, like I've seen on the watch before, because I've seen on the watch, like on a couple of videos where it cycles through and you see like the crafting hologram maybe in the back, and then I saw something else where it's not in there anymore, like maybe as of like 6 months ago. But
I don't think they have the watch anymore. The only time we really saw the watch was in the 2013 video, right? Like, did we see the watch in 2014? I don't think so. I think they just opened the map straight away with the select button, right?
I think so.
In the Manhattan.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what button it was, but yeah, that was the only time we saw the watch was in the 2013, wasn't it?
Yeah, and so. It's like, and to access the skills, you don't need to watch because you go to the start menu. I don't think they have that watch anymore, to be honest. That's a good thing that you brought that up, because I didn't really realize that until now.
That is, huh. I wish they put it back in. Please don't leave it out.
Features, I mean, it might still be, who knows, but that was something that was really attractive about the UI and how they were bringing everything together, right? Because it just seemed like that seamlessly came to
that you press start.
Yeah. It would keep you in the game, keep you immersed, and that's what their whole mantra is for this game. It's to be immersive and everything. And if they take that out and it brings up a whole menu, then you're like, okay, I'm out of the game basically. Now I'm in a menu.
That was my understanding too, because that's why they want all the UI on right there in front of you, right? So that you don't have to go looking for it, and you're just in the game, and that's why I thought, just bring up your wrist, you just do that, is you're staying in the game instead of backing out the menus and such. But
yeah,
so here I'm just gonna screen cap, just so that we all know what I'm talking about. This is a recreation from one of the videos that I made. If you press start, you get that.
Right.
And then the seven tabs in the top, like talent, skills, inventory, character, group, clothing options.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the things you can choose that you can press left and right to go in between.
Yep.
Okay.
But there's no watch involved here. Pressing select will open up the map. So
do you think they just took it out for the
think
demo?
No.
You
Now,
think
why would they do?
Yeah, why would they recreate or like create a whole new menu system if they were still using the watch?
I think they're not using the watch anymore. Maybe it just wasn't practical, or I don't know.
But all this was locked, right, Marco? This was just what you could see, but you couldn't change it.
The inventory, character, and options menu, I was able to see that group, clothing, talents, and skills was locked. So that's what I was talking about with not being that there's not a crafting tab, but the crafting tab.
That's where you're looking at right there. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So when you go into the inventory, which is another one, there's also a little button, press X to go into crafting. And that's why I can't imagine it being too big of a deal if it's not even its own sub-tab. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So in a few of the gameplay videos that we have, like, I hate to bring up E3 2013 because the game is probably so far removed from what that actually was shown. When he picks up the water bottles and things like that, is that removed? Is that out of the game?
Yeah.
Or do you think they can keep that?
Yeah, no, that's out of the game for sure.
So what about in the companion app, which is probably another bad video to bring up?
Companion app is removed as well.
Right, yeah. But
the drone, remember that?
Yeah, I remember the drone, but in one of the clips you see him running towards one of the guys and on top of like one of the air conditioning units or whatever on top.
Yeah, there's a little crafting piece like
do you think they're removing all of those things in exchange for like weapon customization or whatever?
I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the name of it. It's like a charge or something
was it like magnesium charge?
Yeah, magnesium charge. Yeah, that was it was. I don't think that's in there anymore. No, I think for gameplay and feature wise, we shouldn't be looking at the 2013 gameplay footage anymore. I think 2014 is still pretty relevant, but 2013, I think what you're seeing right there is it's not like the game anymore. The whole UI has changed. A lot of features have changed. New stuff has been added in, and old stuff has been taken out.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem with showing a game so early.
Yeah, they probably were.
I'm wrong, but just so we're all on the same page. What we know now from what I was watching at the E3 trailers, there is a workbench. Crafting's still part of it, and there's a workbench in the base of operations. That's right. Right?
Where did you hear that?
I heard on an interview from Bernard somewhere.
Huh. Well, it's not impossible.
Yeah,
so
I would say, like, let me just take a look at the.
Yeah, the way I picture crafting working is similar to what you're saying, Marco, is with like the different mod slots and attachments for your weapons and attachments for your gear. I say like you're out in the world, you're exploring, you go into this police station or whatever, you go into the supply room, and then the supply room or whatever has, double-sided clips, increases your reload speed, red dot sights, things like that. And then in order to put them on your weapons, you have to return to your base of operations, go to the workbench that, what Dave's talking about, and then that is like where you craft, you change your weapon, you can change the paint on the gun, change different things like that. I think that's
very possible.
That's what I would like to see. Remember, we talked a few episodes ago about how you just can't pick up, you can't just pick up a piece of gear for a gun, like any kind of sight, red dot sight, anything. You can't just slap it on and immediately use it. I think you should have to go back and go through the motion if they want to keep it realistic. Go through the motion of attaching it, and that includes zeroing it and blah blah blah, all that stuff. Like that's going to the workbench counts for that. Like I would like to see that, even though it would be nice if you could just slap stuff on. But if they're wanting the realism, that would be cool.
Well, it also adds value to your base of operations because now you have a purpose to go back. You're like, oh, I've got this cool thing, so I'm going to go back to the place and put the thing on the gun and yay, whatever. I mean, so I think that is one way.
And that would also justify the lack of being the crafting option in the start menu because you would have to do everything at that one table.
That's a good point.
So that's
well. Okay, so I wonder, isn't there some sort of medical option at the base of operations too. So
Yeah.
I wonder if you can't like craft like maybe healing type things or do all your crafting of your grenades, healing grenades, any kind of mines and stuff in your base of operations. Maybe that's where that takes place.
I think the healing grenades, what you're talking about, that's just a skill.
Oh,
So
right.
So that's something that you have to modify by just leveling up that specific skill by using it.
That makes sense.
And I think the medical is there to just refill on med packs because I feel the limit of maximum med packs is like 5. It can be higher with special gear, but then to refill on med packs you would have to go back to the base of operations or find them somewhere. So like you can have these med packs. Like I think for the demo you regained med packs when you respawned. So, but I think like for the real game you would have to go back to the base of operations. I hope so, at least. Otherwise,
yeah,
infinite healing.
Right. Yeah. Bring up a lot of good points about the crafting table. That would, like you're saying, that would explain why there is no tab. Because there's no reason to craft anything out in the open world because you're not going to be picking up like rolls of duct tape and
it will just be thrown into the inventory, and then you can craft it. Oh, you can craft it like later at the table where you get all those options. That's a possibility. But so far, when looking at, let me just pick up the demo real quick, the one from 2014, which is still pretty relevant. I feel there's a trade station. Not sure what that's for. Maybe to trade gear with other players.
Yeah,
like some sort of global thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. And there's medical. I think that's where you just refill. Armory is where you store the stuff that you don't want to carry with you but still want to keep.
Right.
And then there's fast travel connections, new places to fast travel to and stuff like that. But I'm not seeing like somewhere where you can craft your stuff. Maybe it's within the armory.
Right.
I don't know.
I think you're right. The 2014 E3 gameplay is still pretty relevant because I remember when you asked a question for one of their Q&As, how talking about the loot when you pick it up, how you can see the little orange dot laying on the ground, you can pick that up. They and then they replied to it saying that it was that's what loot looks like or whatever when you drop it. So I think that's all of that's what we can expect to see in the game. So all the stats that you see on the base, I wouldn't expect them to change a whole lot. I mean, we never know.
Maybe a bit.
So.
Maybe a bit. I'm expecting some things to have changed by now. It's been like 1.5 years, but yeah, I don't know, not any major changes.
Yeah.
So Marco, what do you hope changes the most? I mean, what's that one thing that you're like, man, I really hope they fix this, otherwise it's going to break the game for me. Not break the game for me, but what would be a little disappointing?
Not necessarily a fix, but I just hope that they somehow manage to add some sort of competition in there, like some sort of
this is where my next question was going to go. Me and you in a
like
brother.
like I'm a really competitive player, like I said earlier. It comes back to my Halo Wars where I had to be number 1. I want YouTube. I saw this, and so like I didn't have a competitive game, so I got really competitive with YouTube. Like I have to make the best videos,
Right.
And now I'm playing Heroes of the Storm, which is a MOBA game, and I'm actually in a sort of semi-professional team. We're actually practicing to join tournaments and stuff like that, but that's still on the going. But I'm always trying to look for that next step, and I really hope that the division will be able to provide me something like a leaderboard, a competitive skill rating, like something that shows how good you are, and that not everybody can get. Only the best players.
Right.
Yeah. And that was going to be, here's my question to you. And that's because I know you played a lot of PvP, and I'm a PvP guy. So this is my thought and question I had written out. So assuming that there isn't any traditional PvP, because right now I would call that non-traditional, PvP enabled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that if they kept it this way and they didn't have anything that was specifically PvP, that would hurt the longevity of the game itself? For people that want the more competitive experience, like myself or yourself, so that's what doesn't. If a PvP player wants to come and play right now and they have the dark zone, is it enough to satisfy them to keep them engaged in the game? Does it hurt not having anything more?
That's really difficult because I really haven't, experienced the Dark Zone myself. Yeah, I've of course played the demo, but like I said, I didn't really feel like the demo gave a good representation of what the game is actually going to be.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure yet. I mean, it really just comes down to how competitive you can get within the Dark Zone that they have set up now. If I can just, set up a team on TeamSpeak, sort out that I have, near the best gear, and then just be able to change them and just keep denying people from their loot over and over again just for the laughs of it. Just not even extracting the loot myself, but just be on TeamSpeak, be real into it, and just make sure that they don't get to extract. Be that asshole. That's gonna be a lot of fun. That's gonna be a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, I could see that being really cool.
I don't know. They might want to add some game type somewhere in the future that maybe, for the longevity for those people who really are looking for a challenge. But I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
maybe some sort of rogue agent wanted list. Like you've went rogue so many times and you've killed so many other agents.
Yeah, like be high up on that list, and then people are gonna whenever you enter the Dark Zone, other people will get a notification.
That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome. Wanted agent just entered the Dark Zone, and then people, and then you get a marker that a lot of people are going to be able to see. And then, for example, 2 or 3 squads at the same time will try to hunt you down. And then if you survive, that's going to be so much fun, because if you survive, that just means that would be so. I would play that every day, being hunted down.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I think we haven't really talked about it a lot, but they need to have some sort of PvP. Modes almost, but that's the thing. If they want to stay realistic, I don't see how you would implement a dedicated PvP other than the Dark Zone, what they have so far.
Realistic or seamless, so they don't want it to be. I think seamless is more the issue. I'd like just an area. Hey, can I go walk over this wall and just get into some capture the flag or rescue the hostage or whatever it is? Yeah. Some more traditional game types. I know they don't want to do a menu and they want it to be seamless, and I get that, immersed, and okay, give me another section that I can just walk into and do a little behind the scenes matchmaking where I can get grouped up with a couple other parties that just want to do the same thing I do, is kill each other and do an objective.
Right.
Rather than the whole enabled where some people I assume are just going to be gingerly walking through there hoping they don't have to do any PvP interaction,
Yeah. But it could be put in a menu. You could go to your menu and pre-select, okay, before you ever even go into the Dark Zone, you could select regular Dark Zone, PvP, or capture the flag, and then the mode, whatever, wanted. That'd be a cool game mode. Throw that out there. That's free from Marco. A wanted game
but
type.
You actually brought up a very, very good point, because the PvP is going to be, you're going to have 2 types of players. So ones that are just looking for that competition to just wreck other players and make their day horrible. And there's those type of people who just want to go into the Dark Zone to try and get some more loot for their PvE experience.
Right.
So what you're going to have is you're going to be, a bunch of tryhards who absolutely, be on TeamSpeak and that kind of stuff, versus a bunch of kids who just want to, walk around to find some loot. How is that experience going to be? One, they're going to get completely destroyed and they're not going to have much fun on either side, right? So
Yes.
I really feel like that they're going to have to find a way to, keep it separated, and or have that game type where you just go in and then, this agent has entered. There's a huge bounty if you kill them.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
So they can decide to run if they don't want to deal with it.
Exactly. They'll get a marker. They decide to go, okay, there you go. Go fuck it. We're done. Or they could, exactly like that.
Keep the sniper rifle. It's only a legendary anyway. I'm out of here.
Yeah. That brings up a lot of good points. I mean, we go from crafting to PvP, but I hope
because it's you I didn't really think about it, but when you play with a team, like five player team on a TeamSpeak on a MOBA game, and then you go up against a bunch of randoms, which two of the 5 guys kind of know how to play, and then the other 3 guys are just trying out a new hero for the first time.
Right.
That game is going to be over. Nobody's going to have fun there.
Right.
We're just just give up already, surrender, and they're like, what the fuck is happening? Why are we matched up versus these? It's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what the beta, I can't wait to play the beta and see how all of this works, how the game works.
How it works
What
out.
is the game? What is it like to be in PvP as opposed to PvE? What is a quest? What does a quest look like? What does all this stuff, how does it function? Because all we've seen is that 20-minute demo where you go in and it's like a preset area where you're supposed to go, you herd it in one direction to go do this one thing, and nothing is open. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they
I hope we're all going to be very pleasantly surprised by whatever we're concerned about.
Well, that guy from Ubisoft, the CEO, says we will be. So we have nothing to worry about.
So happy.
I hope
so happy.
We'll be so happy to see that everything worked out.
I'm going to sleep well tonight. Now I'm going to be fine.
Because the quality is at a very high level. So nothing to worry about right there.
Nothing to worry about.
All right. Well, that was. What were you saying?
No, I really hope that it works out. I really, really do.
Yeah, I have high hopes for this game, but I have high reservations too.
Well, and you have to have standard expectations though too. And that's one of the things I think. The more they keep stuff in about PvE, the higher everyone talks about it. The higher the hype and the higher the expectations get. Because we're just like all ramping it up. Oh, raids are going to do, we want raids to do this and this and this. And that expectation keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah.
And then once it comes out, it's kind of hard to get knocked back down to like, oh man, we had talked about this raid idea for the last 2 years and nobody ever said anything. We just assumed it was going to happen. But I don't know. I'm a fan of a professional baseball team that hasn't won a championship in 100 years. I have low expectations about everything. So you just kind of, if you have low expectations, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. You bring up a good point, though. People do keep talking about it because we have so little information. They just keep saying, "Oh, well, it could be like this, and it could be like that," and they keep talking about it. And then when they do release information, you're like, "What? That's nothing like what we were talking about it." Being like so.
Yeah, but they never actually confirmed anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Game, right?
That's the thing with people. They put high expectations on things that they don't know anything about. So.
Just a little over a month, and we will all know what it's like.
Yeah, man, that's crazy to think. It's close. It's not.
It's very, very close. It's coming up close now.
Yeah, I was doing countdowns on Twitter and stuff. We were at 100. I think we're at 121 days right now till the launch. So, I remember when I did a while back, and it was like 340 something days. I was like, it's so far away. That was a good topic. We brought up some good points. I didn't think that. We
even realized some stuff that we didn't even know.
Yeah, we were talking. Well, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
When great minds come together.
Exactly.
That's right. World domination.
So let's talk about our gun review. What do we have for this week?
Well, this week we're going to be talking about the FN SCAR Mark 17, or as it's called in game, I believe it's the Mark 17 SR.
Is it a assault rifle or is it a scout or DMR in the game?
It is, as far as I can tell, the Mark 17 is an assault rifle.
Okay.
So, but all we saw was it being opened up and taken out of a case. Marco, your weapon video, that last weapon video you did where you go through and identify every weapon that has shown up in any kind of video has been a really good resource for me. So to go through and say, okay, all of these guns have been identified. They might be in the game, they might not, but it's given me some stuff to talk about because all I've been doing is the reviewing the real world guns until I have something in game to actually talk about.
Well, let's be honest. Every video that Marco's put out has been a good source of information. So it's not shortchanging me.
Agreed. No, but that one in particular, I really enjoyed. It was really good.
Yeah, I actually just watched it. Sorry.
Yeah. So
glad I could help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot like the gun we talked about last week, the HK416. This gun is a response to the slight unreliableness of the typical assault rifle that the most militaries use, like the M4, the M16. How they get a bunch of carbon and combustion gases in the chamber and in the bolt area,
right?
And it causes them to malfunction. So this gun also uses let's see if I can pronounce it properly. Where is it again? Okay, so the problems with the other guns were the direct gas impingement system. It causes all kinds of Let's see.
Junk buildup.
Basically, yeah. So this one is the God. Where did I put it on here?
So hold on for a second. What gun are we talking about here?
This is the Scar Mark 17.
It's the first gun that you see them open the box in.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Which also, I wish that's how you would pick up your loot in the game too. I know that's definitely not in the game anymore, but that was really cool. You know, when he walked over there and it zooms in, he opens up the case and then picks it up.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if that's removed yet.
I hope it's still there. That's gonna be so cool. Before we move any further, I want to pose a question to everyone that's been on my mind for a little while, but I haven't really found any place to talk about it. Crafting is kind of a good place, I guess, to throw it in. Do you think, since Red Storm is behind all the guns and they are so particular about the details, even to like putting the rifling inside the barrels, do you think there's going to be any sort of weapon degradation? You know how we keep talking about the bolt systems and
I'm pretty sure they said there's not going to be.
Is it? Where did they say that?
I don't think there's going to be. I think that Red Storm, their library of guns, is just going to be a library for all types of games. So when they make the Scar FN for one game, they don't have to remake it for another game because they do a whole lot of other games besides the Division. So that's where that kind of comes from. I don't think there's going to be any weapon degradation at all.
They also said that in the official Division podcast they did with Hamish when they talked to the Red Storm guy. He talked to the Red Storm guys. They said that there's not going to be any kind of degradation. You might see the barrels, glow and heat up and everything, but they're not going to break down.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious.
So this gun uses and this is the phrase that was giving me so much problem last week, the Shortstroke gas piston system.
there's that tongue twister again.
Right. So as the bullet passes through the port and the bullet passes through the gas port in the barrel, a portion of the propellant gases are routed through the gas regulator to the gas piston located below the front sight post. So it keeps all of the junk and everything. It routes all of the combustion gases out.
Right.
So, but in 2004, there was a competition between 9 vendors, and they submitted 12 different designs for 3 new weapon systems. So FN delivered a new weapon built to the operator's requirements. Like they designed it to the shooter, not the shooter having to adapt to the weapon.
Interesting. Is it kind of like the Chris Vector that we talked about a couple weeks ago?
Yes, yeah, pretty much. They really tried to rethink everything and design it to what the operator wants. So
do you think that these the history of these weapons, like how they're designing these to be, more comfortable, it's going to translate into the stats of the guns in the game?
I hope so. I hope that that really does make a difference. I mean, I want each gun in game to feel different.
Right.
I want them to operate the way they do in the real world. Like, so I had talked about before the M249 SAW, how whenever you would just stand up and just rapid fire it, your reticle would spread way out and it would just be really unstable and way up in the air. Well, because that's not how that gun was meant to be fired.
Right.
That gun's meant to be fired in 3 to 5 round bursts.
Okay.
It's not a full auto fire unless it's mounted on a tripod. If it's mounted, then you can full auto fire it. But if you're just hand holding it, it's meant to be fired in a reciprocal rate of fire.
Right.
So otherwise it'll jam. So that's I hope that that's the way that works out, but we haven't really seen it. We've only, seen the demos and everything where people just try to run up and auto fire it and end up looking straight up in the sky.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping.
Marco, did you get to use the SAW was in the demo, wasn't it?
The SAW?
Yeah, the light machine gun. I think.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I played with that. It has insane recoil. It is. Right. Yeah, it was really hard to control. You really had to, either pull the stick almost all the way down, I would say, after a certain point, and then it would still not. It was pretty crazy.
When you fired it, did you try to burst fire it, or were you just full autoing it?
No, because mostly I had a shotgun as my primary, because that came with the class, And so I was already up close, and then when I just had to reload, I switched and I just sprayed them to death.
I did see that video that you put up about that, and that's what made me think that maybe they are going to make them more realistic, because you even talked about it. You said, "Bam, my reticle spread's way out, and I just couldn't control it." And I'm like, "Wow, that's
for some weapons, it is insane. You really have to, burst." Which,
yep, and that's how
I kind of do like that.
Makes it realistic.
Yep.
So you can probably put a tripod on it, I would say, or a bipod, and then like when you go in the cover and then you peek up over the cover, it deploys it. Possibly.
Yeah, the saw actually comes with a bipod. That is part of the weapon system. But the saw is one of the ones I've been trying to get to win the poll, so I can finally talk about it, because I've actually used the saw in real life quite a bit. But
I'll vote for it next week.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do an all shotgun and light machine gun poll, because every time I put an assault rifle in there, it always wins. Yeah. Every single time. As soon as I put the SCAR in there, I was like, oh, it's winning. Right. And then I put up because I'm gonna do an all shotgun poll here pretty soon.
You probably should. That's the only way you're gonna get it to win. You could put the SCAR, a pistol, and a slingshot, which are they gonna pick?
Yeah, I did put up, because the Remington 870 was a part of this last poll, and a couple days later I said, well, maybe I should have put these pictures up, and it was these heavily modded versions of it that look way cooler than just the base version that you see in the game.
Yeah.
And it got a few more votes after that, but not enough to beat the SCAR.
Yeah.
So the FN SCAR submission passed all of the go, no-go criteria and was unanimously chosen by the selection board, composed of senior SOF, Special Operations Force operators representing every selection component. So it passed all of their criteria.
Sweet.
So
I only understood half of that.
I only understand half of it too, Marco. But that's
right.
Well, interesting about it.
Basically, there was an opera. Yeah, see, I listened to my review last week, and I'm like, I don't understand what I'm talking about at all. so in 2004, there was a competition between all these different manufacturers, and they submitted their weapons to basically replace the M4 and the M16 for the U.S. Army. The SCAR, then they have these criteria that's like, okay, do you pass all these checkpoints? That's the way the Army works. Right. Is it go or no go? And so the SCAR passed with goes on all of the different criteria. So in November of 2004, FN was awarded with the full FN SCAR contract for both the 5.56 millimeter and 7.62 millimeter, along with the 40 millimeter enhanced grenade launcher module. So you can attach an undergun grenade launcher with this.
I bet you'll be able to do that in the game too.
I hope so. We haven't seen any kind of grenade launchers in game yet, have we?
Marco would know.
I don't think so.
I don't think I've seen any. That would be.
I think they're going to come in the form of the skills, that kind of stuff, the explosives.
Okay.
So
that's interesting. Yeah.
We haven't seen any kind of like explosive, like heavy weapons, rocket launchers or grenade launchers or anything. So that would be interesting. I kind of like that there's not rocket launchers so far. I hope that if we do, it's like a one use. Kind of like an AT4. It's just a fire and you throw the tube away.
Yeah.
Kind of RPG.
Yeah. Well, RPGs can be reloaded, but AT4s can't.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Doom with the facts.
Well, yeah. Most of these are weapons that I've actually used in real life. So.
Right.
So I'm going to skip all of the technical stuff. Like that's basically it uses the Shortstroke gas piston system. Yeah. So it keeps it cleaner, keeps the maintenance down. The SCAR was really designed for the parts to be economical, but still a high quality and cut down on the maintenance time.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, final testing was completed in September of 2008, and the SCAR and the grenade launcher module were announced as operationally effective and operationally suitable and sustainable. Initial fielding to operational units with the United States Special Operators began in 2009. The first units were armed with the SCAR, deployed overseas in the summer of 2009. So Upon successful in-theater combat assessments, the SCAR Mark 19 and Mark 17, and also the grenade launcher, were granted Milestone C, which is the acquisition phase associated with fielding and deployment. So they received a full rate production, or they received approval for full rate production for the Mark 16, Mark 17, and Mark 13 grenade launcher.
So in the game, do you think you're going to see different models of the SCAR? Like, you think you're going to see a DMR version and an assault rifle version?
I would like to. I hope that's part of the the either the gunsmithing or the arms, the workbench that we were talking about. I hope you can do that, because the Mark 17, it has 3 different barrel lengths that can be changed rapidly. It's got a 13-inch CQC barrel, a 16-inch standard barrel, and then the 20-inch long barrel, so that it can be easily modified for specific missions.
Yeah, because I know in Battlefield, the SCAR, there's like an assault rifle, and then there's also a DMR. There's 2 separate weapons within the same game.
Right. Well, yeah, even in the SCAR family, like, they have light machine gun versions. They have all kinds of different versions of it. So I hope they put those all in there. And maybe that can be the difference between, rare and legendary and uncommon, like maybe in a, ascending level, like some of the lower levels or some of the, not as good ones. And as you move up, you get the better versions.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, but so the barrel lengths and everything, and it's also that they can be just like the Vector and the HK416. The receiver, the barrel, and all that stuff can be changed out rapidly. So that's kind of a common theme among these guns, is they can be modded and everything really quickly, depending on what your mission is. Mm-hmm. The SCAR family is readily adaptable to future upgrades and enhanced ammunition designs. So there's talk about, right now they have the 5.56 and the 7.62 version. There's been talk about making a 6.8 ammo version of it.
That's what you want, isn't it?
That is what I want. That 6.8 bullet it's a beast.
Yeah.
So it's I'm really excited for that.
See, what was it? There was something I was going to say about customization of guns. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Dang it. I hate it when that happens. Well,
yeah.
Continue.
So basically, I'll close out the weapon review saying the Mark 17 weapon system, they use a common multi-caliber architecture that's highly modular and instantly adaptable to virtually any mission, and is further enhanced by the grenade launcher. It's built with an eye towards the economic realities and small logistic footprint required by today's highly mobile military. So it's very versatile and has a small footprint. It's basically the perfect assault rifle.
Right. Well, I think that's cool. When you read these reviews, you get a kind of a visual idea of how customizable these guns are, and so it makes sense in the game that you would be able to mod them and change them and do all these different things with them. Yep. And I also remember what my question was going to be. Do you guys think that, I don't know if it's been confirmed or whatever, if it is, I'm sure Marco will correct me, but are there going to be different versions of ammunition, like different, like armor piercing, incendiary?
I can tell you about that.
Hit us.
There's gonna be different ammunition types for each gun category. So you have different ammo for assault rifles, LMGs, shotguns, stuff like that.
Really?
But yeah, so there's like, if you're out of shotgun ammo, you're not necessarily out of sniper ammo. And you can.
Okay.
So. And that is all shared. So let's say you have 2 shotguns as your primary and your secondary, then they're going to be out of ammo at the same time. So you kind of want to avoid that. You always want to run with 2 different weapons. Mm-hmm. But as far as I know, there's not going to be any incendiary ammo, explosive ammo, and that kind of stuff. Really, where you're going to see that back is probably, again, in the skills, where you can modify those.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting to see how they differentiate what abilities you have and what goes on the gun, like you're talking about with the grenade launcher. That you bring up a good point. Why would they have grenade launchers if they have the sticky bomb?
Right.
I mean, it's Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for episode 7 of Rogue Agent Radio. Just remind everybody you can find us every other Monday at iTunes and now on YouTube as well. Surprise, surprise. I actually put us up on YouTube. I want to Yeah. I want to especially thank Marco Style for joining us. This has been awesome. Been a lot of good conversations. So thanks, man.
No problem. I had a lot of fun, and we discovered some new things together. So
yeah. So just to let everyone know, you can follow all of us on Twitter. Dave is at Deep Fried Dave. Doom is at Blessed Doom with an underscore. And yours truly is at Boomslang with 2 G's and an underscore. And Marco, where can everybody find you? Where your YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff?
In the basement?
In the yeah, that's where I am.
So just go to YouTube/MarcoStyleNL and you'll find me.
Yeah.
YouTube.com.
That's awesome. Thanks for listening, everyone. And Marco, I'm going to let you close us out.
I'll see you all later, or like they say in the Netherlands. Zie je later.